Hey guys, it's Editing Nina, and I just wanted to hop on here and give you guys a heads up at the beginning of this video. I was so chatty, and with the inserted footage, the video got to be so long that I decided to split it into two parts. So what you're getting today is the first leg of the crawl, and then the second video will be the last leg of the crawl. So yeah, there was just so much that I thought it would be better to split it into two videos. So thank you for watching. I hope that you stick with me. And yeah, like and subscribe. See you on the other end. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And this week is going to be a little bit of an unusual episode because this past week, Washington State did something that I didn't expect. And I was out in these fibery good streets. Apparently every year, the local yarn shops here put on a Puget Sound, hope that's coming through, local yarn store tour. And it ran this past week from the 14th to the 18th. So I just got done with the tour yesterday. I was freaking exhausted, but I'm here to tell you all about it because it was fantastic. It was so good. I'm tired, but I'm on such a high. It's been so hard not to just gush about it constantly, nonstop to anybody who will listen. I've never experienced anything like it before, so it was just so exciting. Okay, so I have some notes here, and of course I picked some things up on the tour. And I can't wait to tell you. Girl, I had a time. I had a time. Okay, the best time. It was the best of times. Anyway, okay, so let me get started. The Puget Sound LYS tour, and what it is that all the local, I shouldn't say all, because it was not even all, 25 of the local yarn stores here in Washington State all get together and they put on the tour. It's not a bus like the that's what I originally thought when people were telling me about it, that I'll hop on the bus. It's not a bus. You take yourself. You drive all over Puget Sound, and they have this map, which I'll put one up on the actual screen. And it's the map of the tour of where all the yarn shops are, right? And you have the, 14, 15, 5 days, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, yeah, 5 days to get to tour all these shops, and they stay open a little bit longer than usual. So I think the times are like 10 a.m. to 8 a.m. during the week. And I know it was up until 6 p.m. I don't know when it says here 10 to 6. Okay. So 10 to 6 on the weekends and 10 to 8 on the weekdays. They would stay open so people can go on this tour. And as you go to each shop, they stamp your passport. It's so crazy. It's so great. They stamp your passport, give you a sticker, right, to say, hey, you were there. And then by the end of the tour, according to how many shops that you hit, they have all these different prizes. Every day each shop gives away a prize. They raffle off a prize so when you enter into each shop, they direct you to a table where they can stamp your passport, and you can fill out a slip to be entered into the day's drawing, right? And so you do that, and then you look around the shop and whatnot, and just get to know what's in each shop. And it was just so fantastic. So this buckle up is gonna be a long ride because I made it to 16 of the 25 shops. I can't believe that I did that. I'm very proud of myself. You know, driving isn't one of my favorite things, but your girl was out here driving and it was fine. It was perfectly fine. So anyway, I made it to 16 shops. The very first day, so it was wonderful. It worked out so perfectly. I heard about the tour like last week, was a week before the tour, and my sister was coming because my nephew graduated from Puget Sound University. And so that weekend prior to the tour, she was here and we went to the graduation, which I'll insert a couple little pictures there. Because proud of you, Neff. Well done. And so, yeah, she was already here for the graduation, and if she had known that the tour was going on, she would have stayed longer, but she didn't know, and I really didn't know what it was, honestly. And so she went with me the first day, and the first day we did the, I want to say southern leg, is that right? Yes, we did the southern leg of the tour, and our very first stop was Tea Cozy Yarns. And yeah, the staff there was so friendly and welcoming, and it was our first stop, and it was just it was the best way to open up, you know, our tour, to start our tour. Like, everybody was so friendly and engaging, and you could just feel the excitement in the shop. It was the busiest I've ever seen a yarn shop. All the shops this whole week have been the busiest I've ever seen the yarn shop anywhere I've lived. And I've been to yarn shops. Oh, I've been to yarn shops in Italy, in Germany, in Georgia, in North Carolina, South Carolina, California. I've been to a lot of yarn shops in different places, you know. And I have never seen a yarn shop so busy. So many yarn shops, so busy, right? So that was already exciting in itself. I don't know if that's geeky to admit. Like, I know that, like, I just felt like I had a stake in it, you know what I mean? Like, I always do when I go to a local yarn shop. It feels like, I hope you guys, so many yarn shops, independent yarn shops, don't survive. I have a lot of stash from yarn shops that went out of business. I'm trying to think, when we lived in Kansas, there was a great, I don't think she was going out of business because she couldn't do business anymore. I think she was going out of business because she was retiring, and she was wanting to, like, you know, tour Italy and Europe and whatnot. But that's like the last shop. When I visited New Jersey, I have family in Jersey, like, there was a yarn shop there that was closing. I've just been I've gotten some great sales at some closing yarn shops, independent yarn shops, you know. And so it's not uncommon. It's not like a thing that doesn't happen with independent yarn shops going out of business. So when you see one thriving, at least when I see one thriving or see some thriving, it's super exciting, and it feels some kind of way. I have a stake. I want it to stay. I want it to do well. And I want to see it succeed. And because, like, knitting and crocheting and spinning and fiber arts are so, and I don't know, a part of who I am as a person or whatever, I want those things to be appreciated and to stay alive in the world, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, it was just the vibes were vibing, and I was just so excited that people were in there, and all the other people, a part of, you know, this culture of knitting and spinning and, you know, handicrafts or whatever. All of us were kind of like excited and in community together, and none of us knew each other. We were all chatting and talking like we did, but none of us did, you know. And it was just really fantastic to see that in every shop I went into, 16 shops that I went into all over the state, like, and I shouldn't say all over the Sound. You know, it was the same type of energy where people just were excited to be there, excited to participate, excited to connect with other people, and talk about patterns, talk about yarn, and, you know, giggle and just be free and happy in their craft, you know, their hobby or what have you or whatever. So that was the coolest part in itself. And so when we stopped at Tea Cozy Yarns, that was the atmosphere that ate us up. And so me and my sister were like, game on. And you know what? She was only here for one day for the tour, but my girl, what I really would love to do is for us to do a what is it called? A live or a, you know, with the webcams. Anyway, something like that where the two of us, and I could get her take on just her single day of yarn touring, because she was having a blast. And I will say, so my sister, she's had a few surgeries on her ankle, so she walks with a cane and has a handicap parking sticker. And so the parking in a lot of these places, I would say the most challenging parking was certainly when we were going to, oh gosh, the second shop was named, is named, I have it written here, Acorn Street. The Acorn Street Yarns. Now, it was a fantastic shop, but you have to, it's like a town. It's like one of those little exploring towns. And so you have to park on the street, and it's a busy street. And so she was driving, and so she had to get out and, you know, in traffic or whatever, and just kind of be mindful. And people these days, honey, if they're not knitters, they're not here for you. I'm convinced that knitters are the best. Knitters and crocheters and spinners, that fiber artists, people, we're the best. I'm convinced. But, you know, outside of that, questionable. Anyway, so back to the Tea Cozy Yarns. So fantastic kickoff. Me and my sister both got the I'm gonna have to dump everything out, and then I'll put the stuff back in at the end, or as I go through. We'll see how that works. We got the tour bags. I got the canvas bag, and I got the little notions bag. There was a local artist, I guess they do a contest, and he won for the design this year. There was a local artist who won for the design, and so this is the design for this year's bag. And apparently this is the 19th year that they've done a tour like this through the Sound, Puget Sound. So I can't even imagine what the 20th anniversary is going to be like next year. I hope that I'm still here for it. And I hope that my sister can arrange to be here for the whole week. So what I didn't do was make it to the shops that were on islands or that were super duper far north. I did a little north. I did like 2 hours and 45 minutes north, but I couldn't do more than that. So anyway, all that side note for, we both bought bags at that store, and I felt like I bought something else, but maybe I didn't. You know what? I put notes here, and now I need to calm down. That's really what it is. Let me take a couple of deep breaths. Okay, so I bought the bags at Tea Cozy Yarns, and I think that is really all that I got there. My sister, on the other hand, I think she bought books, I think she bought yarn, I think she bought the bags. She was about that life, and she lives on Guam, in her defense, and so to get good yarn there is challenging. So she was like, while I'm here and while I'm doing this and while I'm vibing the vibes with all the other fiber artists, I'm gonna get my yarn, honey. And so she did, and it was just great. Let's see. What else did I want to mention about Tea Cozy? I met Emily. She was the owner there, and she was fantastic. She was just, you know, she's just down to earth and chatting with all the people, and, you know, talking about her knits and, you know, colors that she likes. And I'm trying to think of the woman who was at the front desk signing everybody in and stamping their passports. She was amazing, and she was super helpful trying to pick yarns and, you know, figure out, you know, which patterns and what yarns and, you know, which direction to go. She offered great suggestions. And so it was just such a lovely kickoff. And every single shop, when you come in, you do the passport stamp and you enter for the prize for the day, and each shop had two free patterns that they would give the customers, 1 crochet and 1 knitting. And the Tea Cozy, they had this one crochet pattern of a fish. It's I have it written down. Let's see if I can find it. Sardine pouch. And I'll have to put it up on the screen. It is the cutest thing. And it made me think of, like I said, my nephew graduated this past weekend, or actually not this past, the weekend before. And I got to meet a couple of his friends, and they were saying how they were beginning crocheters. And this sardine pouch, would be like, it's a little bit advanced. And I know that it seems hokey, you know, because it's like a pouch, a fish made into a pouch. But it's so cute, and you could put little notions in there. You could put your little lip gloss in there. It would just be something quirky and unexpected to have on your person. I think I'm literally gonna make it. But I was also thinking, oh gosh, let's see if I can find it. I was also thinking that it would be a great first project for someone who is new to crocheting. So shout out to Evelyn and Valeria. I think that was their names. They're twins too. They were the most adorable girls. So anyway, girls, young women. And so yeah, shout out to y'all if you're watching my channel. I gave you what my hookup was, so I hope that you're watching. But this sardine pouch would be a great first project because it has some challenging aspects to it. Like you're supposed to install a zipper, you're supposed to put in a lining, but it's so small that like the frustration, if you get frustrated at all, would be so like, you know, quick. It would live and die so quickly, you know. It's just an excellent way to gain some new skills doing a small project like that. And it's quirky and it's cute. And even if you don't personally use it, maybe you have like a little sister or a little cousin or just like a little kid, if any of you guys are into like childcare jobs or anything like that. It's a great little thing to have on hand that you can just whip up and then learn some new skills with. And so it's like little projects like that, you know, it would be an easy win is what I'm saying. Yes, we went to Acorn Street, and that shop for Acorn Street, now mind you, me and my sister were just on a high. We've never done anything like this before, so it was exciting for us regardless. So I'm in Acorn Yarns, and this is such a great shop. I mean, they have a little bit of everything. So well stocked.
This batch came out a little different than what are the shops this year? I mean, so it's there 21 last year. These yarns were the so this is the colorway, but I feel like that one had even more. Any shops that year the yarn too. But yeah. That's enough for a pair of those things. Feel free to take a picture with that.
Sorry. No, you're fine.
I wonder how you find out.
But that shop, the Acorn Street yarn shop, it just felt like home to us. The staff was so genuine and friendly, and we hit it off with the in-house dyer there. She dyes, what is her name? The yarn that she dyes is called Serial Knitters, and there was so much yarn that I wanted to buy there, but I did not buy any of the specialty yarn because I don't know, I feel sometimes like if I don't actually have a plan, I feel overwhelmed by the things. And so the only thing I had in my mind is that I wanted some summer butter yellow, because you know it's in, yarn for a summer project. That's all that I had in my mind. And so like all the other possibilities felt like it was like bearing down on me. It felt jumbled. I felt like not comfortable with, I don't know if that makes any sense, but like if I don't have the plan and then I just do something on a whim, it feels some kind of way. So like, yeah, I feel overwhelmed in a way. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. And so I didn't buy any of the specialty yarns, but now that I've had, like later on in the day, even by the end of the day, like when we were riding home and I like got home and was thinking about it, I started thinking, I want that boucle yarn. I want that, you know, silk cashmere wool yarn that was there, that was, you know, I can place exactly where it was on the wall in the shop or whatever. So I hope they don't rearrange anything anytime soon in the next couple of months. But yeah, so what I ended up buying there was actually this Kobazi by Haiku. I think that's how you say it. And it's a butter yellow cotton bamboo silk yarn. And so I ended up buying this there. And I've been wanting a Coco Knits books. I know I'm late to the party, but I had been wanting one. And they, Tea Cozy Yarns didn't have the actual book there. They had all the other stuff, but they were sold out of the book. And so then when we got to Acorn Street, they had literally 2 books left, and my sister was like, well, it was meant to be, and she grabs the 2 books. And so she grabs the 2 books, and we get the 2 books. So that's what I got at Acorn Street, was this cotton silk bamboo yarn and the Coco Knits book. I'm trying to think, was there anything else from there that I bought? I feel like there was, but I don't think that there was. Oh, there was something else there. And this is so random. You know what? They had this wool, Peruvian wool, on sale in the back. And I saw this man, he had his arms full of it. And I said, oh, I like to look at that. And then when I got a closer look at it, I saw that it was Peruvian Highland wool. And I immediately thought of this sweater that I've been wanting to knit for years. And I thought that what I was gonna, I'm trying to think of the name of the yarn. I thought that I was gonna do like, I can't think of the name of the yarns, but I'm collecting. It's gonna be a color work type of thing. And I'll see if I can insert a picture of the inspiration of the sweater. I can't remember if it's a cardigan or if I just wanted, I think it was actually a solid sweater that I wanted to make into a cardigan. But it's not even a knitting pattern. It's something that I would have to create and make up myself. So it's inspired by something I saw, and I'll flash it up on the screen if I can find it. If not, you'll have to see it in a later video. But so I just randomly, and that's what happens when you don't have a plan or whatever. But it's something that has been on my mind for years, and so I saw him with that, and I said, "Ooh, that's that Peruvian wool. It's the right feel, it's the right color, it's saturated color. I want this in navy blue and maybe it's gonna be a lot of colors. It's gonna be beautiful." So this is the start of collecting yarn for that project. And so I got that all at the Acorn Street Yarn, and across from, before we went into the shop, across from Acorn Street Yarn shop was this cute little tea spot. I'm gonna insert some footage. Listen, and me and my sister were cracking up laughing because we go into this tea spot. I think it was called Queen Mary's. I'm pretty sure it was Mary. And in both of our experience, when you go into a tea shop that has like Queen whatever, Queen blah blah blah, usually it's a nod to it being English style tea. But while we were there, we ended up running into some other people who were on the yarn tour, but they also stopped in the shop. And they were like, I don't know if you know, but this is Mary. This is the Queen. So me and my sister were cracking up laughing because we were thinking it was like, Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth, Queen whatever, as a nod to being English style tea. But it was like, no, Queen Mary, the owner. But the owner of that shop apparently is quite widely renowned within the tea community. And so my mother-in-law was huge into like tea and tea etiquette, like really. Like collected tea cups, like so much so that my daughters and my nieces, like they all had inherited so much china and specialty teacups because it was her thing. She had been collecting for years. And I inherited so many issues of Tea Time and, you know, different little magazines that she had collected. It was like her knitting, you know, stuff, you know, because, you know, if I were to pass tomorrow, somebody would be getting, you know, 150 books and 200 magazines that I collected over the last 30 years. Anyway, me and my sister were just cracking up laughing because we didn't expect to meet Queen Mary that day. We were thinking Queen Mary was an idea, not an actual life form. But anyway, so after we went to Acorn Street Yarns, let me make sure that I'm not leaving anything out. Oh my gosh. Yes, I am leaving tons of stuff out. There's no way that I'm going to be able to stick it all in. I don't think. Jeez. So, let's see. Oh, yes. And my sister's name is Janet. And one of the women who works there, she's an instructor. She works the counter. She's just an employee. I don't know how. She's a magnificent woman who works there, and her name is also Janet. And so the two Janets were hitting it off, and my sister Janet, as you know, she lives in Guam, and so like they were discussing shipping, and they were discussing cocoa knits, and just all the things. It was just such a great time. I can't express to you enough how much fun we had. So I had the two Janets, and you know, I was trying to be conservative and focus on spring and summer yarns. So I got the, you know, my little yarn that I showed you. My sister, meanwhile, she was like, conservative who? Conservative where? And I appreciate her because since she doesn't live here, and I don't know if she'll ever be back, she bought her things and then she put the points on my account. So I'll definitely be back to spend those points. So the other cool thing is that when you walk in and you do all of your passport stuff, the owner had the patterns printed out. Like, so you could have done like the QR code. She had both options for you, but you know, your girl's old school. So I love that she had just the patterns ready and available and ready to hand over. And the two patterns that they had were they were just great. And of course, all of the shops had the patterns on display. They had samples there. And so it just made the experience so fantastic. By the end of the tour, by the last day of the tour, I had touched so much yarn in real life. I had seen so many samples in real life. It just gives you a different perspective. And I'm not saying I hadn't seen those things before, but seeing them consistently in so many shops over and over and over again, like you get a picture of what you can do, what to do, how to do it, you know, like how it's constructed, what the yarns would look like, what the different yarns might look like if you have substitutes at home. It just brings you closer to all the options, I think, at least for me, to tangibly see and touch the things and like be in the presence of the pattern being together in front of my face, not just like looking at it online and trying to figure it out, or reading somebody else's synopsis on the Ravelry page of the troubles or whatnot they had. There's something magnificent about being there in person and being able to touch the garments, touch the yarn, and oh, how would that drape? Oh, I see how when they did the knit twos together, you know, or like when they increase their, what that looks like at the back of the neck, or how it gathers under the arm. You can literally see it in real time, you know, in your face, and it's different. It's great. And so, yeah, that was the experience at Acorn Street. And then after that, we went to Hazel Knits. And so I will say a part of the North Tour was supposed to be dragon fiber yarns, and we did not go because the real reason is that I had been there before. It's a fantastic, wonderful shop. I love it. The yarns, the dyeing there are fantastic. They have plenty of I think I got a spindle there when I went before, and they had plenty of like spinning wheel accoutrement there at the Yarn Dragon. That's the name of it. But it's located in Pike Place. And I was telling my sister, like, what I don't want to do and what I don't want you to do with that ankle of yours is to get pushed around in Pike Place. And I don't want you to have to figure out parking for Pike Place. I just didn't want to have to do all the things for Pike Place. And so we skipped the Yarn Dragon. Maybe if she's here again and it's like, you know, down season, during the day, during a work day, we can go. But I just didn't think it would be a good idea to do the Yarn Dragon this time. And so we didn't do the Yarn Dragon. And actually, by the time we hit Hazel Knits, it was pretty late because we got started late. We didn't get out until late in the day. We did not actually realize what this was, what we were doing, until we were in it and we were like, oh, okay, this is a whole thing, right? And so anyhow, we ended at Hazel Knits, and listen, when my daughter saw the footage of Hazel Knits, she said nothing is beating that rainbow wall. She loved the aesthetics of Hazel Knits. So impressive. All of this yarn, almost every single yarn there are hand dyed yarns by them, by Hazel. I don't know. I'm saying Hazel. She's not Hazel. I'm trying to think of what her name is. Nevertheless, are dyed by the owner and her husband. And her husband does the majority of the dyeing. He does a fantastic job. And from what I understand from other yarn shop owners, they talk about Hazel Knits and they talk about how color fast that the dye in their yarns are. One woman in particular was saying how, like, you could have a blood red hazelnut yarns and pair it up with a snow white yarn and go ahead and give it a wash at the end, do your blocking, and those yarns will not bleed onto each other because of whatever way that they rinse their yarn at the end of their process, where they're so color fast or whatever. So that was really cool. And just to be in that shop, it was a beautiful, beautiful shop. And again, my sister was like, when in Rome. And so she went to town. She got herself some hazelnut. But again, I think especially when it's a hand dyer like that, I really have to think about it, because it's just like everything is so beautiful to me. And I'm the type of gal that I don't have favorite colors. I love color in general. And it's so, like, it's kind of a mood thing. Like, is it going to be pink? Is it going to be blue? Is it going to be yellow, orange? I do tend to go towards jewel tones and cool tones. So I don't know what's in the middle of that. I guess primary would be in the middle of that, which I'm not mad at primary, but I do think that I go to the extremes, jewel and cool tones. But any color can get it. Any color, because I just love color. And so that makes it difficult when you go into a yarn shop and they're giving you the rainbow and everything is just, you have someone who's just so talented at all of these yarn shops, you know, speckling dye, you just doing all the different processes on dye. It's just so gorgeous, and it can be overwhelming. My brain needs time to process. How am I going to use that? Where am I going to put that? What would that look good in? How can I utilize it? Because I would say early in my knitting career, I have plenty of single skeins of hand-dyed yarn where it's just like socks again, maybe a shawl, but no, I haven't knit socks out of them. I haven't knit shawls out of them. I've just held them and looked at them. Back in the day, there's been certain places where the yarn is so beautiful, I would just put them in like vases and put them on display because I just thought they were that gorgeous. I need to do that again. So yeah, like, but that works to your disadvantage when you go into a place and you don't have a plan, because it can feel overwhelming because everything is so gorgeous. You want to use it all. You can't buy it all. And so then it's like, I need to really think about this and make a plan. So yeah, there's a lot of places that I'll be going back to once I have my plans in order, that I will get specific in, you know, yarn for or whatever, once I figure it out. But I got to think about it. Let's see. Yeah, but just those yarn, like, I will say my daughter, who was not there the first day, she's right. When you walk into Hazel Knits, that wall, it's like floor to ceiling. It's kind of like it kind of gives, not warehouse, but you know how a lot of, industrial, kind of gives a little bit of industrial vibes when you walk into there. And then you have this vast wall of color, just beautiful yarns hanging so neatly and thoughtfully on the wall. It was just great. So yeah, my sister fell down hard in there money wise, and there and Acorn, and I mean, I guess she had to. She only had one day. She had to make it count. So so yeah, that was day one, and I just can't even imagine how long this is about to be. I'm gonna try and be faster. So day two, I was on my own, and I have to admit, I was a little bit poo-poo over it. I was a little sad. And so I went to Quintessential Yarns, and they cheered me up in there. I will say that that's the truth though, because of course, literally every single place that I went to, everybody was just so pleasant and happy and great. And in Quintessential Yarns, I actually ran into Amy, and Amy is actually the one responsible for the person. Oh, where did I put it? That isn't my hand. What did I do with it? She was responsible for creating the passport book. Now that I want it, I can't find it. Where did I put it that fast? The passport book for the yarn tour. She was the graphic designer, and she was in there with her partner Lisa. And we just were chatting and talking about it, and she was telling me about other events that were coming up, and I was just super excited because Fiber Fusion is coming in June, and in August is Flock. I want to say that's the name of it. So yeah, it was wonderful talking to her, and they just really cheered me up, and so did the owners. And so yeah, I was there alone, but then I walked out with a little bounce in my step because I had been chatting and just, socializing and having a good time. And I think the only thing I left there with, I was trying to temper myself, okay? The only thing I left there with was a Cocoa Knits counter, because I feel like I have a whole bunch of those red counters, but I wanted something a little bit smaller and that I could put onto. I have a magnetic board. It's not Cocoa Knits magnetic board, but it'll work nonetheless if it has a magnet in it. So anyhow, I bought one of those Cocoa Knits magnetic clickers counters, and I also got some, oh, where are they? I got some stitch markers. Maybe I'll take a picture of them so you can see them more thoroughly and stick them in. But they were made out of glass, by a local artist. So yeah, you're not gonna be able to see them that well. But so I'll stick them. I'll take a picture and stick it in. But I got these little stitch markers, and then I got a little row counter from Coco Knits. And then I moved on to, where did I go after Quintessential Yarns? I went to the Knitter Studio. Now, this place, the Knitter Studio, was just gorgeous. I hope that I have the footage going up. It was so, there was like a floor to ceiling window like of this place. And the window faces like the city street or whatever, but there's so much light that comes into the shop that it just is so visually stunning. And the owner there, she does this knitted art that's so ethereal. It's basically like, you know, flowers and plants and moss and whatnot. And then she has them up as like art pieces in the shop. It's just the color scheme, the thoughtfulness of the scheme, the way that the yarn is presented on all the walls, even the tables for some of the featured yarns, like from dyers that were, you know, doing the tour, like just the way that things were laid out. It was just so thoughtful and aesthetic and just pleasing to the eye, just very pretty. And when I think ethereal is the right word. It just was really cool in there. So we have samples here. Such a modern and beautiful shop here. Everything is just kind of like a feast for the eyes. Very brightly colored and organized. Visually stimulating. Just gorgeous colors all together. And the displays are so neat. Orderly. It's like a smorgasbord of color. And then it's in this storefront, so you get the vibes of the city. And when you first walk in, you see this little table here, and it's just so brightly and vibrantly colored. You have some samples in the windows. I got my schematic before, and then we have the sample here. And so, yeah, and then also that's a great place to go, you know, to park and then just like walk around the city. Even in the shopping center or plaza or whatever, like across the way, there's like a coffee tea shop, and there's just places to eat and places to walk and go check things out. And so, yeah, the Knitter Studio was a great place. I'm trying to think, did I buy anything there? I don't think that I did. Oh, and you know what I didn't show you? At Queen Mary's, I did buy tea because, you know, we are hardcore tea addicts in my house. Well, I guess all the kids are. My husband really loves his coffee, but I've got everybody else hooked on tea. Oh, where's the other one? There it goes. Look at these great cans. So this is Weekend in Seattle. I felt like I had to, right? So that's a really great tea. It's black tea, honeybush tea, licorice, juniper berries, raspberry leaves, currant flavor, elderberry, spearmint leaves, natural blueberry flavor, cranberry flavor. And then this one is lavender Earl Grey. We love an Earl Grey in this house. And a lot of times I will make a London Fog, which has lavender syrup in it and steamed milk on top of an Earl Grey. And so that's one of my favorite tea drinks. I love chai. I love a London Fog. So yeah, this one has black tea, orange peels, bergamot flavor, blue cornflowers, and Washington grown lavender blossoms. So those are the two, and they're loose teas. So yeah, these are the two teas that I got from Queen Mary. Just harkening back to before. And but let's skedaddle back to after the Knitter Studio, which was gorgeous. Oh, and they had the pattern that they had there that I think I'm going to knit. So far I want to knit the sardine. I want to knit both of the tops that they had at Acorn Yarns. And I also want to knit the medallion necklace pattern that they had for free at the Knitter Studio. It was just so cool. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. And so like, I think I'm doing pretty good. These are all, except for the 2 tanks from Acorn Street Yarns, like the other 2 projects are manageable. You could whip those up in a day. So yeah. So after the Knitter Studio, I went to the Nifty Knitter. And it was the Nifty Knitter because when you pull up, the Nifty Knitter is like set way back, and it's kind of like, if you've ever been to Balboa Park and to like the artsy section in California, San Diego, it's kind of like the art portion of that Balboa Park. Not the boardwalk that's on the actual ocean, but like on the other side before you get to like the huge kids park or whatever. So it's like kind of boardwalky arts village or whatever. And then towards the back of the boardwalk there is this huge yarn shop, and it is so gorgeous. I would love to see that shop like around Christmas time if they decorate it for Christmas, because it would give strong German vibes too, like Germany, cozy, you know, woolen vibes. That's just my opinion, but yeah, it was kind of cool to walk on the boardwalk and see some other art shops, and I think there was like a real estate shop and sculpting shop or whatever. And then towards the back, they had some construction going on in front of it a little bit, but yeah, it was just it was a great location, and it was a sizable shop, and they had everything there, and they had like a wall of needles, which is what I ended up buying there. So I tell you how sometimes I'll pick up needles, and what did I get there? I got these. When there's a new needle out that I don't own, but I see it around and I want to try it. And so I have some of the, I think how you pronounce it is likey or yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it. I have some of the driftwood ones that I bought. I haven't used them yet. But then I saw these copper ones, what are they? Cypra copper needles from a likey. And so I tend to get 2 sizes. One that's a small sock knitting size, and one that's like a regular standard size, usually like a 5, 6, 7, or 8. And so this time I got a size 7. And so I'm looking forward to using these copper needles and seeing how I like them. They don't look too sharp when I don't know, maybe these size 1s look a little sharp, but not overwhelmingly so. And sometimes I do like a sharp needle. I just don't know what was up with those cubic platina. I think it was because they were a size 0, and they were just so dang sharp. They were just, and they did not relent. Like, you know, sometimes when you're knitting for a while and like maybe you're scraping your needles or whatever, they don't feel as sharp after a while, after you've done like 1,000 stitches, you know. those platinas, if you're looking for some sharp needles, get those square cubic nova platina needles or whatever, because they're sharp, honey. So anyway, I got some needles there, and I think that was all that I got there. They had a great pattern too that I'm not sure I'm going to knit, but boy, it's tempting. It was this orca. I don't know what is going on. Oh, here goes the book I was looking for. Lord. Lisa. Amy's the one who did the graphics of this book. Let's see. Oh, did I keep it? They had this orca. Child. I don't know if I'm going to knit it, but it sure is intriguing. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful pattern. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like a cowl and a hat, and there's orcas on it. And so that's the knit pattern. And then this mesh, oh, am I giving you guys codes? Oh Lord. let's see, I'll try and block that out. Lord have mercy. And then on the other side, here, I'll put my finger over it this time. They have a mushroom cap beret, which that's a eclectic mushroom crochet cap. I can't see myself making that, but the orca dancing cowl and hat, though, that's real tempting, and I love the colors that they chose on the models on the card. So yeah, the Nifty Knitter, that was a cool shop. They had some cool patterns. Yeah, the Nifty Knitter, that was a cool shop. They had some cool patterns. And you know, day 2, like I said, I started out sad, but by the end of the day I had talked to so many people, and I just kind of felt like it really did something for me to be out in these streets, these knitting streets, and talking about, I do a podcast, this is what I do, you know, to really embrace what I'm doing. I guess, I don't know if that sounds silly or not, but that's, by the end of the day, that's the way I felt. Like, wow, Nina, good job. You've been out here, you know, really promoting yourself, really talking about what it is you want to do with the channel, really talking about, you know, this channel in a serious way. It's not just a hobby this time. It's not just something, you know, that I am trying to do in my spare time. It's something that I want to do, you know. And so that was a great realization to have by the end of the day, especially when I started out being a little bit salty that I was on my own. So that was Thursday. Friday, I missed a whole day of yarn crawling because Thursday my daughter had a track meet and I was way out in Timbuktu and stressed, honey, trying to get back. There was traffic that I thought I had accounted for, but there was accidents, of course, and it was taking forever to get back. It got so bad I missed the track meet, and then I was worried, am I gonna be able to pick her up at all in time? Like, and I was trying to wrap my brain, like, who can I send? Like, and so like that was that type of apprehension, stress. I don't like that at all. I don't like that feeling of like letting my kids down. I don't like that feeling of being stressed I might not make it, you know, to something that I was supposed to make it to, or I missed something. I just don't like that, you know, for various reasons. And so that really was kind of a stressful way to end the day. So the next day I was just like, there was no track meet, but it was just kind of like on principle alone, like my kids have school today. Like my kids had homeschool, and you know, my daughter might need something from, you know, whatever. Like my daughters might, anybody could need anything. I think James, oh yeah, and James had work that day. And so I wanted to make sure that he was good to go when it came to, you know, to him getting to and from work. And so I was just worried after having the previous day end the way it was. So Friday I didn't travel, but I was just like, on Saturday and Sunday it's on like Donkey Kong. So I figured it being on like Donkey Kong would be a good place for us to end. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. So I'm in the process of editing right now, so I don't think it will take me a whole week to get the second episode up. So hopefully I can get it up in just a few days. So you won't have to wait forever for the second part. But I think it was smart to split it into 2 pieces. So that's what I've done. And I just wanted to thank you guys for watching. And like and subscribe and tell your friends about me. All right, see you next week.